For decades, Arizona didn't just offer houses. It offered certainty. Certainty that the desert would always cooperate. Certainty that water would be engineered, redirected, or solved later. Certainty that land meant freedom, and freedom meant safety. People didn't move here because it was cheap. They moved here because it felt inevitable. The highways kept stretching outward. Cranes dotted the skyline like permanent fixtures. Entire neighborhoods appeared almost overnight, complete with palm trees planted into soil that never asked for them. And every single year, someone else showed up willing to pay more. Families escaped crowded coastal cities, believing space alone was stability. Retirees arrived with life savings, convinced the desert had finally given them peace. Investors treated the state like a limitless equation, where growth solved every problem before it appeared. Nobody wanted to ask hard questions because the answers felt inconvenient. Where will the water come from? Who pays when insurance stops being symbolic? What happens when prices rise faster than wages for too long? Those questions stayed buried while the market climbed. But now, in 2026, the desert is no longer quiet. Listings are sitting. Price reductions arrive weekly instead of yearly. Builders slow construction without press releases. Insurance notices land in mailboxes with numbers that force people to pause. This is not chaos. This is gravity. Not one city failing overnight, but many cities bending at once. Not a crash you hear, but pressure you feel. A long buildup finally asking to be acknowledged. Arizona is not suffering from bad luck. It is confronting consequence. What follows is not fear. It's math. It's infrastructure. It's demographics. It's confidence thinning at the edges. These are the Arizona cities where the housing boom is unwinding first, where optimism arrived early and left quietly, where belief carried prices higher than reality could support. Listen carefully, because the closer we get to number one, the clearer it becomes. This story was never about timing. It was about limits. Number 10. Tucson. Tucson was always marketed as the reasonable alternative, not as intense as Phoenix, not as expensive as Scottsdale, a place where culture, history, and affordability could coexist. For a while, that story worked. Between 2020 and 2022, home values surged more than 50%. People accepted it because Tucson still felt cheaper than elsewhere. But cheap is relative, and math does not care about perception. By 2026, prices have fallen close to 15%, and inventory has quietly doubled. The deeper problem is not pricing alone, it's cost. Insurance has become Tucson's silent disruptor. Flash flooding, stronger monsoon seasons, and wildfire exposure have pushed annual premiums into territory that no longer feels manageable. In many neighborhoods, homeowners now pay more for insurance than they once did for property taxes and utilities combined. A $400,000 home in Tucson now carries monthly ownership costs, approaching $3,800 once taxes and insurance are included. In a city where median household income remains near $63,000, that equation collapses quickly. Investors are exiting, rental margins are shrinking, foreclosure filings are rising slowly, almost invisibly. New developments tell the same story. Projects move forward cautiously, or not at all. Builders delay phases, buyers hesitate. Tucson isn't collapsing loudly, it's suffocating quietly, and quiet pressure is often the most dangerous kind. Number 9. Prescott. Prescott sold serenity, cooler air, pine forests, historic streets, a slower rhythm that promised safety from the chaos elsewhere. It became a retirement magnet, and that magnet pulled prices far beyond sustainability. From 2020 through 2023, home values climbed nearly 70%. Modest homes crossed $650,000 without hesitation. The belief was simple. People would always want calm. What that belief ignored was cost structure. Retirees on fixed incomes do not adapt easily to rising expenses, and expenses rose everywhere. Insurance premiums ballooned due to wildfire exposure. Property taxes climbed. Maintenance followed inflation upward. By late 2025, prices had already slipped toward $530,000 in many neighborhoods. In 2026, forecasts point toward additional declines in the 10 to 15% range. Prescott Valley reveals the strain clearly. Subdivisions sit half-occupied, open houses feel empty. Cash buyers now demand steep discounts, sometimes 20% below peak pricing. Younger buyers cannot afford to replace aging owners. The demographic engine that powered Prescott's rise is now reversing. The town remains beautiful, but beauty no longer offsets affordability. Prescott's slowdown is not dramatic, it's structural. Number 8. Flagstaff. Flagstaff was supposed to be untouchable. High elevation, cool summers, university stability, tourism dollars. Second homes owned by people with deep pockets. For years, Flagstaff was treated as Arizona's exception, a market immune to cycles, insulated from reality. That illusion did not survive. Between 2020 and 2022, prices surged past $800,000 in many neighborhoods. Buyers stretched because they believed this market played by different rules. By late 2025, prices had already dropped roughly 17%. In 2026, the decline is no longer subtle. Homes linger. Sellers adjust expectations month after month. Affordability is the core fracture. Local wages never supported peak prices. Mortgage rates near 7% turned even modest homes into luxury purchases. A $600,000 property now carries monthly costs exceeding $5,000 once taxes and insurance are included. Remote work once fueled demand. That fuel is fading. Employers are calling workers back. Second home buyers are rethinking discretionary purchases. Short-term rentals are flooding the market. Occupancy rates have slipped. Regulations are tightening. Owners who relied on seasonal income are discovering it no longer covers expenses. Developers have quietly stepped back. Several projects remain paused, not canceled, frozen in uncertainty. Flagstaff's decline matters because of what it represents. If a market long viewed as immune can soften this quickly, no Arizona city is protected. Number 7. Gilbert was the model suburb. Clean streets, strong schools, family-friendly planning, predictability. It felt safe in every sense of the word. Then prices ran ahead of reality. Between 2020 and 2022, values surged nearly 70% as out-of-state buyers poured in. California money flooded the market, chasing space and perceived value. That perception evaporated. Median prices have fallen from roughly $640,000 to just under $520,000. Homes that once sold within days now sit for months. The deeper issue is monthly cost shock. Mortgage rates climbed. Insurance premiums surged. Property taxes rose. A home that once felt manageable now demands close to $4,000 per month. Even high-earning households feel stretched. Developers are reacting cautiously. Permit activity has slowed. Some projects sit half-finished. Short-term rental investors are leaving. Occupancy rates have slipped below sustainable levels. Gilbert isn't imploding. It's weakening slowly, and slow declines leave long scars. Number 6. Mesa. Mesa grew on momentum. As Phoenix expanded eastward, Mesa absorbed growth relentlessly. New homes, new neighborhoods, constant construction. That expansion is now its vulnerability. Since peak pricing, Mesa's values have dropped close to 20%. Entire neighborhoods show repeated price reductions. Insurance premiums that once hovered below $2,000 annually now push beyond $5,000. Combined with higher mortgage rates and association fees, ownership costs have effectively doubled in just 4 years. Investor demand has vanished. Rentals no longer deliver predictable returns. Analysts expect additional declines of 10 to 15% through 2026. Mesa's importance lies in its scale. If a core suburb struggles this much, the ripple effects move fast. Weakness does not stay contained. Mesa is not failing suddenly. It is bending under accumulated pressure. Number 5. Sedona. Sedona never behaved like a normal housing market. It didn't sell square footage. It sold emotion. Red rock formations glowing at sunset. Spiritual retreats, promising clarity. Luxury homes marketed as experiences, not investments. For years, price resistance barely existed. Buyers weren't comparing numbers. They were buying identity. That is exactly why the reversal hurts more. After peaking near $950,000, Sedona home values have fallen close to 20%. High-end listings now sit for months, even after six-figure reductions. The demand that once felt endless has thinned dramatically. The problem isn't desirability. It's cost friction. Tourism softened as travel behavior changed. Short-term rental occupancy dropped. New regulations limited flexibility. Owners who once relied on steady visitor income are now covering gaps out of pocket. Insurance became a breaking point. Wildfire exposure pushed premiums sharply higher. Utilities climbed. Maintenance costs followed inflation upward. What once felt like a lifestyle purchase now feels like a financial obligation. At night, streets that once glowed with activity sit dark. Homes without occupants, assets without income. Sedona is not crashing loudly. It is unraveling quietly. And luxury markets unravel differently. There are fewer buyers, fewer comps, and far less urgency. Every price cut echoes longer than the last. Sedona's lesson is simple but uncomfortable. When value depends on emotion, correction arrives the moment confidence weakens. Number 4. Scottsdale. Scottsdale was never just another city. It was a statement. Owning here meant arrival. Success confirmed. A lifestyle that felt insulated from the rest of the state. For years, the belief was unwavering. If prices slowed anywhere else, Scottsdale would hold. If rates rose, Scottsdale buyers wouldn't blink. If uncertainty spread, prestige would act as protection. That belief is cracking. By 2026, Scottsdale home values are down roughly 18% overall, with deeper declines inside luxury enclaves. But price charts don't tell the full story. The real strain hides in ownership costs. Insurance premiums for high-end properties now reach 5 figures annually. Policies that once felt routine, FS shoot, I'm running out, continue. Homeowner associations are issuing special assessments to cover storm damage, aging infrastructure, and rising maintenance expenses. Property taxes remain elevated, lagging behind market declines. Homes that once sold in weeks now sit for 200 days or more. Price reductions come in stages. Optimism fades slowly. Even cash buyers are cautious. International demand has thinned. Corporate buyers have shifted toward lower-risk assets. Scottsdale's downturn is emotional. Confidence was the city's foundation. Once shaken, it does not recover quickly. Prestige does not outrun math forever. Number 3. Chandler. Chandler represented Arizona's engineered future. Semiconductors, advanced manufacturing, high-income jobs, master-planned precision. For years, everything pointed upward. Then momentum slowed. Hiring pauses arrived quietly. Expansion plans shifted. By 2026, median home prices in Chandler are down roughly 16%. In higher-end neighborhoods, listings linger. Builders are responding aggressively. Incentives are everywhere. Large price cuts, closing costs covered, upgrades added. Buyers remain cautious. Mortgage rates near 7% changed affordability. Insurance climbed. Energy costs rose. Property taxes continued upward. Even strong incomes feel pressure. Rental investors are struggling. Margins thinned. Some operate at losses. Others exit entirely. Chandler's problem isn't collapse, it's imbalance. Too much supply built on uninterrupted growth assumptions. Demand that now moves slowly instead of impulsively. The Silicon Desert learned a hard truth. Innovation alone does not justify inflated housing forever. Number 2. Phoenix. Phoenix was the engine. Between 2019 and 2022, it absorbed more new residents than any metro area in the country. Prices doubled. Homes sold within hours. Bidding wars felt normal. It looked unstoppable. That speed was never sustainable. By 2026, Phoenix prices are down around 15%. Inventory has doubled. Builders hold thousands of unsold homes across outer suburbs. The migration wave slowed sharply. Higher interest rates froze buyers. Insurance premiums surged. Property taxes climbed. A city built on constant inflow now faces hesitation. Ownership costs tell the story. A home that cost roughly $1,700 per month in 2020 now approaches $3,000 before maintenance or association fees. Insurance alone tripled in some neighborhoods. The rental market weakened. Vacancy rates climbed. Investors sell at losses. Flippers disappeared. Foreclosures rise slowly, quietly. Phoenix is not collapsing. It is eroding. Confidence fades, 1 month at a time. By the end of 2026, Phoenix may become the clearest example of how fast momentum reverses when fundamentals are ignored. Number 1. Buckeye. Buckeye is where everything converges. Not long ago, it was branded as Arizona's future. Endless land, affordable homes, master-planned communities stretching toward the horizon. From 2019 to 2022, prices more than doubled. No city in the state rose faster. That speed became its undoing. By 2026, Buckeye has experienced the steepest decline in Arizona. Values are down roughly 25%, with deeper drops in certain neighborhoods. Inventory sits at nearly 4 times normal levels. Construction zones stand silent. Builders slash prices aggressively. Incentives stack. Buyers hesitate. The problem is structural. Too much supply built on optimism. Growth assumptions that never included pause. When demand slowed, Buckeye had no buffer. Water concerns amplified fear. Infrastructure lagged. Promised amenities stalled. Buyers feel misled. In partially completed neighborhoods, values fell as much as 30%. Investors abandoned deposits. Homeowners feel trapped. Entire streets exist without community. Model homes, surrounded by empty lots. A vision left unfinished. Buckeye is not in a temporary downturn. It is resetting, and that reset delivers a national warning. When speculation outruns planning, correction is ruthless. From Prescott's aging affordability to Buckeye's overbuilt sprawl, Arizona's housing boom has reached its limit. This is not seasonal. It is not mild. It is not temporary. Insurance reshaped affordability. Water limitations turned real. Interest rates changed psychology. Confidence fractured. The desert dream was not a lie. It was incomplete. Growth ignored limits. Prices outran wages. Supply assumed demand would arrive forever. Now, reality is collecting. Some homeowners will lose equity. Plans will change. Expectations will reset. Others may find opportunity. But only those who understand the risks once dismissed. Arizona's story is not finished, but it is being rewritten. And this time, the ending will be shaped not by optimism, but by math, sustainability, and respect for limits that no longer bend.